lucky enough to be talking with Tahnya Brown. Tahnya Brown is with TahnyBrown.com, and basically has, after 25 years experience in the corporate world, decided to take the big leap into coaching, and there's basically working with B2B clients, all sorts of different clients to that field. So pleasure to have you with us, Tahnya. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Very good. No, thank you for being on. It's great to talk to you. So I just wanted to sort of dive straight in and just sort of ask you a little bit about your business and what you're focused on at the moment. If you want to give us a bit of a rundown of what you're doing and what you're working on, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. So I like to call myself an organizational coach. Some people, say executive coach. They say professional development coach. I say organizational coach because I've been working with companies in general, but in a variety of different facets. I help with improving culture. I help working with teams. I help just individual leaders improve their overall leadership capabilities. So I kind of touch every ounce of an organization and just helping them to be more productive, more efficient, improve communication and things of that nature. And I absolutely love it. I've been doing it for quite some time. I did it when I was in the corporate world, and I just like you said, decided to take the leap in 2016 and just do it on my own. Best decision I ever made.
Very good. It's always good when you hear those sort of success stories from changing from one industry or sector to another. So that's great. Well done to you. I guess recently you've changed to Delenta from another platform. So I wanted to sort of go into the challenges you had before using Delenta. So if there are any sort of main challenges or pain points that you had, what were they before you came across the Delenta?
There was a lot of pain, Jared. A lot of pain.
A lot of pain.
Yeah, well, I say that because I started in 2016, and I think I came to the realization that obviously Excel sheets were not going to be the way to run a business. And I looked at a lot of different platforms. I've worked with a lot of different platforms since that time, but none of them helped me to organize things the way that Delenta is helping me to organize things. It felt very hodgepodge, like everything there was something here, there was something over there, right? Your payments were here, your CRM might be over here, and it just was very disjointed. And especially during COVID was probably the most challenging time for everybody, but especially during business, just trying to connect with people was such a challenge. Obviously, we're all in a Zoom world, but that was one of the bigger challenges too, that, just trying to get in connection with my clients because I couldn't see them in person anymore. So I can't tell you how many different platforms I've been on, but they've run the gamut.
Yeah. So basically you were sort of juggling different subscriptions and different tabs and different apps and having to sort of try and align them as best you can. Would that be the way to summarize that? Would be
yes,
the main problem?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. You can only link Excel and email and Zoom and everything else is for so many times without something going wrong. So and how would you say, so how were they affecting your business beforehand? Was it more from your end, or was it frustration for clients as well, or what were the main things that were affecting your business there?
It definitely hit both. I think me primarily more because of the amount of administrative things that I needed to do on the back end, just so that the client had the quality experience that I wanted them to have. So trying to pair all that together for me, I mean, you want to take enough time on the front and back end of working with your clients just to make sure that you're providing them with what they need. You don't need to be working on all this administrivia as well. It's exhausting. So I would say for me, primarily, it was quite a challenge.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think clients expect a great experience from start to finish now, don't they? I mean, the days of sort of just sending an email and having a separate sort of Zoom link and doing everything sort of disjointed, they'll pick up on that now, because a lot of them experience the good platform where the experience is spot on. So yeah, it's a very good point. And then I suppose the frustrations got too much. You said there's a lot of pain, and somewhere along the line you found Delenta. So if you could give us just a rundown of how you discovered Delenta and sort of what made you want to try it out, if you could, that'd be great.
Sure. So what happened was I really took the time to look at my processes on the back end to identify exactly what I needed. And then, you can Google search anything, right? Coaching payment plans or, whatever. And you come up with different types of software. But I really had to figure out what I was looking for before I even, got to you in order to do the right Google search. So
Yeah.
I figured out my process and I searched for coaching process software. And you were one of several that came up, and I tested quite a few. But I came to you through a crazy Google search, but I had to get to my process first before I even got to
Yeah.
you. So that's how I found you.
Oh,
Simple
very good.
Google
And
search.
so yeah, that's good to hear. And then as far as, I mean, you mentioned yourself, you tried a few different sort of different options, and I'm just curious what sort of factors influenced what made you decide to go with Delenta. Was there anything in particular that sort of swayed you or made you think, yep, this is the one for me?
Yeah, there was a couple things. Number one, so at the time I was working in 3 different platforms. Yours was obviously one of them. And ease of use was the primary factor for going with Delenta. It was not hard to set up it was took me minutes, honestly, to get it all set up primarily the way I wanted to just get it tested. And I did enjoy the trial and that also helped to be able to see the
Yeah.
full suite and be able to see what I could do with it. Um, I would say that was the primary thing, is the ease of use and the comprehensive suite, I guess, of what you all offer is what really pushed me over. The other thing too that I thought was interesting that nobody else was doing was tracking hours. So I'm an ICF, an International Coaching Federation certified professional coach, and we need to know our hours. And the ICF has this way of, they give you basically an Excel sheet to track how many hours you have so that you can prove to them that you're doing the coaching. The fact that that was in there really, it showed me that you all designed this so that coaches or, people that are any consultants even, that may need to track those type of hours could do so very easily. So
Yeah, that's right.
I was very impressed with that.
Very good. Yeah, no, it's very coach-centric, obviously. It gives you sort of a full report of each one, including the time on the call and the breakdown of earnings over time and all the nice graphs and everything like that. So it's good to be able to go
Yep.
back and see all that as well, isn't it? It's handy.
Yes.
So that's great. So you had your trial. Your trial's great. You get the 30-day trial to get in and give it all a go and integrate everything you need to and make sure that it's doing everything you need to do. And then it came time to I'm going to go with Delenta and your onboarding and implementation. So how did that go for you? What was the process there, and how smooth was it for you, and how much did it help to get you fully set up?
It was it was easy. I couldn't believe how easy it actually was. And I did most of it during that 30-day trial. So once I did get set up, there was a few little glitches and things that I didn't understand. And you all have, of course, the little, our little help bubble or the chat option.
Yep.
Your back end support was so quick to respond. That impressed me as well. And it wasn't like I was talking to a bot, I was talking to a person. And it was just overwhelmingly relaxing to know that there was somebody there that was listening to me, and they got back very quickly.
Yeah,
So that
no,
was
that's right.
fantastic.
It's so important to have that as well. I mean, we've all been there, stuck talking to a bot where you're
Yeah.
getting nowhere fast. It's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's great to hear as well. That's great. So you got your implementation and onboarding done, and you were fully ready to go. What did that enable you to do? So when thinking of your business and what you want to do moving forward and what your plans were, what did it enable you to do first off that you couldn't do before? And what are you working on in the future that you can do with Delenta as well?
So the primary thing was, I'll call it chatting with my clients. One of the things that I'm sensitive about is giving out my phone number. At one point I had 2 different phone numbers, one for business, one for obviously my personal cell. And I didn't like to do that. The fact that I can message my clients within this and that there is the mobile app that goes along with obviously the desktop version, I'm able to text ultimately my clients back and forth, which I couldn't do before without providing them my personal cell phone number. I would say in addition to that, from the, like I was saying, the pain point and how I came to you, the administrative side, the dashboard is so well put together. I literally log into Delenta the same way I log into like my email every single day. I utilize the calendar. I'm able to just see everything at a quick glance. It's click a button and get this done kind of thing. There's no jumping back and forth between to see, did my payments go through? Did that invoice get paid? It's just from an administrative side, freed up some significant time.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I mentioned to quite a lot of people, it's like going from 7 tabs to 1, because all the information you need is right there, or, in one of your headings or one of your sectors, or you can go in and look at everything and see exactly what's going on. So that's great. And we're touching on what I'd like talking about next now is streamline. So
yeah,
I suppose, what Delenta's main aspect is that we help coaches streamline their whole business.
mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to just sort of touch on that for us and tell us how the impact that it had on your time and everything like that in the way that Delenta streamlined your business, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'll start with the profile. So, people all think that you need to have a grand website in order to have some kind of a coaching business. It's nice to have. I have one, but the profile, the landing page that you all allow coaches to create and brand on our own is really the starting point of streamlining everything. Before Delenta, of course, you've got your email marketing campaigns and things like that to capture people. I literally just send out the link to my profile, and then everything just goes right into Delenta. It captures everything from that client, from a CRM perspective, a customer relationship management perspective. That in and of itself makes life 100% easier. Then once you do have the client on board, as a lead or a prospect, whatever it may be, just being able to track their journey and not having to go into different systems, you're able to see where they started. And I'm not talking about just their individual tasks and goals and things like that. I'm just talking about, okay, they started with me in October of 2023, and I've done this, 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 and this with them over the course of however long that engagement is. So that is, to me, extremely important.
Very good. So profiles wise, you're able to see a full history and do, people can come in and book directly on that landing page, all that sort of thing. So it's a powerful tool just to have that. So that's the profile side of things. As far as streamlining with other aspects, was there any other key things as far as were you able to stop any other subscriptions, or were you able to organize things in a different way? What else was powerful?
Yeah, so on the payment side, you mentioned you're able to book, but you're also able to pay. Have your clients pay immediately and create payment plans, which is not so easy to do in some other systems. So allowing from the client side, allowing them options that are easy for them in terms of payment plans, and then being able to track that. And the setup on the back end is so easy. I think that this is one of the things that challenges coaches, because I do work with other coaches that are fairly new to the game and are just trying to get their business up and running, and they don't really understand in the beginning how to set up those packages. The way that Delenta has it set up, it's very simple to get whatever package or payment pricing that you want to do set up very easily in a way that you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not, oh, did I charge this person that much, or did I charge them? It's just all there. You create your packages and boom, they're there. And they're easy to delete. In some systems, they're not easy to delete. They just sit there in some crazy archive. So yeah, that's another area. And then again, from an efficiency standpoint, I can see my calendar from my Outlook calendar, because I use Outlook for my email and things. I can see everything on that calendar as well as everything in my Delenta calendar. I generally use the Delenta calendar because I don't need to really use the other one anymore. But it's very helpful on that end too.
Very good. And then we started talking about clients, but the client onboarding process, I suppose, with the programs and being able to send them the link and they just name, email, and log in, that's changed the game for you as well, has it, as far as onboarding it?
Yeah, I think that because my clients, again, they're coming from companies. Generally, all my leads come from different organizations. So they're finding me through a Facebook lead or something like that, or some social media lead. It's coming generally from like their HR department. So having a client portal and being able to provide that portal to their HR department to say, hey, if somebody wants to do a discovery session with me, here's the landing page, give them this, tell them to look at my calendar, boom, it's done. Then I send them the invite. It just makes them feel like they're more of the process, and it gives it more of a personal touch.
Yeah, and it's nice and easy for them too from that stage onwards as well. They're not sitting there wondering what's happened. They know they're on the program and everything like that. So that's great too. And in regard to
clients, I'll say this, I'm sorry to interrupt you. In that, also with that, it allows me to answer. I can answer that within 24 hours, if not sooner, because again, I'm working primarily just in the Delenta app, and once I see these notifications come in, I can very quickly just, hi, glad to have you in the portal, whatever, blah, 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 and just send off a quick note so that they know that I'm there, I'm behind them, and I'm accessible.
Yeah, brilliant. It's good to hear that from a coach when you're getting involved with something too, because sometimes you'll join up and then you just don't hear anything until that first sort of webinar or whatever it might be. So yeah, no, that's great. And in regard to clients, as far as did you notice a difference in their engagement, or did you notice a difference in client retention and satisfaction and things like that? Did you get much feedback using the system?
I've gotten a lot of feedback, actually. I had a previous system that I was using that had a client portal, and I didn't really get much on that. And I did not have the ability, well, let me say it this way. It didn't look as nice on the client end as the Delenta portal does. The clients that I had previously that I onboarded into Delenta were, the first thing this is awesome. The first thing they said is, this is absolutely awesome. The things that they can see, the resources that we can share with one another, because I do a lot of back and forth with documentation and things like that. The chat feature, again, the messaging feature, they absolutely 100% love. The sessions are easy to book. They can see their progress, the tasks and the goals. I am, and I think most coaches are proponents of having them do their own work. So allowing them to really own the process in the coaching process, and put in their tasks and put in their goals and the things that they have achieved, it helps them to go back and look and see, oh my God, I did all of that. Because we all forget all the good stuff we've done, but to have it in one place has been a big breakthrough for them.
That's right. And then you've got your notes and shared notes as well on the actual profile. So you've got messaging, your own notes you want to share with them. And you touched on resources there too. Do you have to use a lot of resources? And that's sort of quite intuitive as to how you can give them resources backwards and forth?
Yeah, I like to share a lot of articles and things like that. Sometimes, links and whatnot. So we utilize that. I call it your personal file. So that they know that they can go somewhere and grab, an art, because again, I'm doing leadership development coaching generally. Sometimes it's culture, and just to give them statistics and articles and things like that, that resource section comes in very handy. I could put it in the notes, but I find it easier to categorize in the resource section.
Yeah, that's right. And then as far as, do you have contracts that are through the system as well? Do you get that all done, signed off in the process of them onboarding? Is that right?
Yes, it's all part of the onboarding process.
Very good.
And I actually streamlined it. Recently I just streamlined it even more. I just added it into my terms and conditions.
Oh, very good.
There it is.
Yeah, so that saves the hassle of having to go out to another system or send another file, or it makes it so much easier, doesn't it? So that's good. I mean, we've talked about features a little bit. So normally I sort of would ask people, what are the main features what are the features that have been a real game changer for you, or what's your favorite feature of the whole platform?
Favorite? You want one? Favorite feature. I love the contacts. I'm going to say there's two. It's the contacts and the calendar. The contacts, I would say, probably is the number one, just because of how it's laid out. I love that they can put a picture of themselves in their profile, and I can see who I'm working with. It just, again, adds that little personal touch. But just the detail that you can capture within each individual contact. Let me add to this though. the other thing that I've been working on, and I've done in the past, which has always been a challenge, are group sessions, which we
Yep.
haven't talked about that. There's that group sessions option. That was also a huge game changer. So it's kind of related to contacts, right? But I just recently started working with a group within the larger organization in with one particular client, and we have been utilizing that to book all our meetings together,
Yep.
to share resources, and just really it allows a centralized location for the entire group to come, as
Yeah.
well as in their individual contact sections. So that was a game changer. And
Wow.
another
So,
thing I didn't talk about, I'm sorry, I keep going. I
no,
just
no, go for
the
it.
other
Go
thing
for
is
it.
I didn't even talk about
What was that?
courses
Sorry.
because I don't the courses when
Oh,
you
yep.
to launch a course.
Yep.
I generally don't do that, but because it's there, I'm intrigued and I'm like, wow, this could really get me from one to one to one to many very
Yep.
quickly, and be able to allow my clients to have a little bit more engagement and interaction by going through a course. And I intend to really look at that going into 2024 and launching something in 2024.
Very good. Well, that sounds great. And it's interesting that you're saying about groups, how it's almost become part of their system, not just the coach delivering to them, that they're using it as part of
Hmm.
their business as well. So it's gotten deeper, almost like one level further into the organization you're working with. So that's
Yes.
great as well. Well, that's super. That's some really good insight into how you're using it with your clients, and it's super to hear all the great feedback you're getting as well. So that's unreal. But as far as what it's done for you on the back end, um, how much time and money would you say that you've been able to save using Delenta? So time is money, as they say, and then you've also
Mhm.
got other subscriptions and stuff that you might have been able to stop or get rid of. I mean, what's it done for you from an operating point of view to be able to organise your work week?
Well, I'm a money girl, and the first thing I looked at was cost, right? And I actually looked at this when I did move everything over and finally canceled all the subscriptions to the other things that I had, and I saved a couple of $100 a month. So that was huge. In terms of time, I'm a calendar blocker, and I used to block off Mondays. Every Monday was strategy and admin work, and it was all day. It was 8 hours of time. I have shifted that down now to 4 hours of time, but part of it is strategy. So I would say I've saved probably 6 hours of admin time just switching over to the one platform.
Wow, that's says it all, doesn't it?
Significant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because
is.
now I can take 2 or 3 clients in that 6 hours,
Yeah,
as
yeah, that's
opposed
right.
to, working on all that administrative stuff.
Yeah, that's right. As far as business development and all sorts of different things you can do in that time, not even just with clients, but the overall business. That's time. Time is time. That's superb.
Right.
That's great to hear. So yeah, so I mean, I suppose the next sort of thing I normally sort of talk about is your future plans. I mean, you touched on there what you're working on something for 2024. Do you want to go into that a bit more as to how you're going to use Delenta to empower that?
Sure. So one of there's so much that you can do with this. I have not added any links of with Delenta into my website, so that's one of the things that I was planning to do. Right now, I have a simple contact form in there that's not really doing any lead capture. I'd like to move it over to see the landing page rather than my simple little contact us page. But the bigger thing is courses, and really looking at trying to expand, because and when you're a single coach and you don't have a team, although that could happen, um, you want to be able to get out there to more clients, but you can't cut yourself in half and and duplicate your efforts. So the only way to do that is to create some kind of a course, right? So that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to do in 2024. And one of the reasons why I went with Delenta, among all the other things that I've already said, was because the course section looked like it was so easy, right? We know that there's tons of software out there that can do just courses, but
Yeah.
the fact that it's all here in one spot was another one of the game changers for me. So that's what you can see from TanyaBrown.com in the future
Very good.
is courses.
Yeah. No, we look forward to that. So be able to build the courses, get them out there, people can sign up, and you're just getting your people enrolled and onboarded straight away. So that sounds like a good plan to me. And then the last thing I sort of normally talk on is just sort of any advice you'd give or final thoughts to others. So if you were to meet another coach on the street and they said to you, I don't know how to set up my business, or I don't know what to use, what advice would you give, and what sort of final thoughts would you give to people listening about Delenta and what they should do?
Oh, it sounds very silly, or it might sound commercially. I would say just go to Delenta. Honestly, I would. I've already done it. I have a couple of other coaches that I partner with on a variety of different projects. And I've told them, I'm like, you're using this XYZ plus this plus this. I'm telling you, just try it and just try to get everything into one streamlined system, because it will save you time in the end. I think that again, that's the one thing that coaches generally don't realize when they're getting into business, is the amount of time that it takes to do things that you've never done before. The finance part of it, right? And tracking all of the money, and you're going to need that for your accountant at the end of the year, right? You're going to need to know, as I was alluding to before, if you're going for any other kind of certification, how many hours of coaching you've done. To have it all in one system is absolutely imperative. And just save yourself time and just use the system.
Yeah, that's the way forward.
I'll help you. If you need help, I'll help you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you're touching there on saying you need that for your accountant, but it can also be very handy for your client sponsor. So if you can gather all that information and all that reporting and all that analytics that you need, and take it all to the client sponsor and say, look, this is what we've done and this is what we've achieved, and here's your ROI and all that sort of stuff. That helps your client retention as well. So from ground level right through. Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't even thinking about that. It's the data side of it. And, again, newer coaches don't realize that how important the data can be, and using it to tell a story. You're absolutely right, Jared. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. But it's imperative when it comes to picking up new clients, especially if you're working with organizations. They want to see the data.
Yeah, 100%. That's right. So, look, there's so many things from the small things to the large things, but sounds like you've really used the system really well, and it's really helped to build your business, build your clients, and the fact that you got plans to go into courses and build things further into 2024 is just great to hear. So, thank you so much for your time today. We'll, if you've got any questions, you can contact Tahnya. We'll have everything linked for you in the videos and everything like that. So website and profiles and everything like that. But is there anything else you'd like to share at the moment, or are you happy enough?
No, I'm great. And I just want to say thank you to whoever created this and decided to really think from that coach perspective. It's really a game changer. So thank you.
No worries. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and you have yourself a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.